Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, friends.
We represent
The technology
Guild.
guild.
I always think Lollipop Gang, but it's Lollipop Guild.
I always thought it was gang.
Yeah. It's because we're violent that way.
Well, I still welcome you to Tech News Land.
There's also the Lullaby Guild right before the Lollipop. No one ever remembers.
Right. Yeah. Well, they're the sweet kind of fairy girls.
The Lullaby Gang. Because they put you to sleep.
Boom! You're sleeping.
Rest nicely. I hope you feel refreshed when you wake
up. Okay. I'm gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I don't have to evacuate my home.
No, you're good. What was it? Did it end up being a 5.3?
5.3 off the Channel Islands, which I think are south of us, off of San Diego.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking at the ncedc.org seismic map. Oh, yeah. Right out there, southwest of Ventura, according to this.
Oh.
So it's a little northern.
Yeah, that's actually closer.
Yeah, that's why it's like boom, right across the water. And there was another one, a 3 magnitude up in Parkfield.
Where's that?
That's like south of Fresno.
Oh, okay.
Kind of on the 101. No, that's a little farther over.
I gotta smell my state taxes up there and my federal taxes.
We wish to welcome you to
Tech News Land.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. When's the last time anybody saw The Wizard of Oz?
Friday.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's in my head. We watched it for Current Geek Film Fest.
Oh, you're not kidding? I thought you were kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
1 hour ago.
This morning.
Wonderful movie. I'm gonna wear these today.
Yay.
Yeah, I know. Well, because I look weird when I do this, but I'll just try not to do that.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's a good look.
Yeah, I do. I think so too.
Oh, thank you. It makes things so much easier to read. So much easier to read.
Yeah, those eyes look like eyes instead of L's suddenly when you put on your glasses.
Right, yeah. Well, especially when you have a lot of like 53.7 million.
Yeah.
Where like without the glasses, I'm like,
what?
Wait. Yeah.
All right. I'm ready when you guys are.
I'm ready.
Let's roll, friends.
Let's roll.
It here. I'm going to do is it my turn or your turn, Sarah?
I think it's mine.
I think you're right, actually. It's yours. Okay, so here we go.
All right.
Gotcha. 3, 2.
Daily Tech News Show is powered by you. To find out more, head to dailytechnewsshow.com/support.
This is the Daily Tech News for Thursday, April 5th, 2018. From DTNS headquarters in Los Angeles, I'm Tom Merritt.
And from Studio Feline, I'm Sarah Lane.
From the earthquake-free Oakland, California, I'm Justin Robert Young.
Don't jinx yourself like that, man. Also joining us, Roger Chang. 3 out of the 4 of us felt an earthquake today, right, Roger?
Yes. Well, I thought it was a truck, so.
I thought it was a crane because it was a little stronger where I am, and Sarah thought it was an earthquake.
It was an earthquake. Also, Roger, you're so far away, maybe it was a truck.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. Gang.
Why would it be a snap? It's not like I've staked any monetary or personal claim. All right.
Maybe it wasn't a truck. Maybe it was a bus that Sarah just threw you under.
Ooh.
Boom. Maybe it was the L train that you just took.
Let's start with a few tech things you should know, folks.
Sony announced Wednesday that it sold 17.2% of its stake in Spotify for more than $250 million. Spotify started trading on the New York Stock Exchange Tuesday and closed its first day with a market valuation of $26.5 billion. Now, Sony had the largest share of any major label with about 5.7% of Spotify. Representatives of the other major labels, Universal, Warner, and Merlin, declined to comment if and when they might follow suit.
Cash in out. Amazon is rolling out its Amazon Key main feature to anywhere in the U.S., including keyless entry, remote lock and unlock, and guest access. 5 more locks now work with Amazon Key for a total of 8. However, in-home delivery using Amazon Key is not part of the expansion. It's still only available to Prime customers in 37 U.S. cities and surrounding areas. Amazon introduced Amazon Key in October as a system that includes a smart door lock, its own cloud cam security camera, and the Amazon Key app.
It's an Amazon Key party.
Okay.
Google has started a beta test for data-only calling using Google Voice. Instead of Google Voice forwarding calls through the phone, using your phone's plan minutes, maybe Android and web users can use Wi-Fi or even cellular data. This helps for avoiding roaming charges. Right now, beta users lose call recording and transfer options and some key Bluetooth functions like, clicking the button to pick up or hang up. So it's definitely a beta test, but especially when you're traveling, this is something I think a lot of people would like to have. Let's talk a little bit more about Apple, not a rumor. Apple saying a thing to an outlet. Justin?
Indeed, Tom, they did. Apple told TechCrunch that there is an updated Mac Pro that is now slated to ship in 2019 rather than sometime in 2018 as previously rumored. In the meantime, Apple will create a pro workflow team to optimize its hardware and software based on real production chains and release dates that cover departments like 3D animation, music, video editing, and visual effects. The workflow team will help produce real projects and pinpoint the bottlenecks. The Mac Pro hasn't had a significant hardware update in 6 years.
Well, color me disappointed because I was kind of hoping that I might plunk down for one this year.
Well, you can. It'll just be 6 years old.
It'll just be, going on 7 years old. So I'm not going to do it. But I mean,
I think the most interesting part of this story, and I know you said will, but they already have created this workflow team. And the way TechCrunch describes it is they went out and hired filmmakers and music production professionals. And TechCrunch wouldn't name any names, but they said these are pros. These are people who are highly talented and working on real projects that Apple has hired to work in-house and use their experimental production stuff so they can get direct feedback, what works and what doesn't. That explains a lot of hiring rumors that we've heard in various arenas, I think.
So this has been the drumbeat almost since the iPod, right? That Apple cares less and less about desktop specifically, and the fringe, although high margin pro users they were the first to feel neglected. And this again is kind of the sweet and sour of that. Yes, they're not going to pump it out by the end of this year, although these kind of machines are probably a little bit less likely to be the gigantic sellers for Christmas per se, but they are making an effort and making a show to say, look, we care about you guys. We used to own all of creativity. Professional creativity was a Mac ecosystem. We want there to be more of that going forward, and we are taking steps. In fact, you might say that they have top men working on it, Tom. Top men.
Well,
Top people, Justin.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, 2018. Top people.
I think that's a very good point, because one of the things that fascinates me is this workflow team, which is a very Apple, almost Jobsian era Apple thing of like, let's just hire creative professionals to actually work on their actual products, but in our house.
Yeah.
So that we can sit right next to the engineering team. Apparently they sit in the lab next to the engineering lab and give direct feedback like, hey, this isn't, this is a problem for me. This isn't working. That's going to make these things much better. The other side of it is what you're talking about, Justin, which is that communication. April 2017, they sat down for the first time and talked to the press and said, don't worry, professional users, we are working on a Pro. We're not going to tell you when it's ready yet because we don't know. Now, today, April 2018, they say, hey, it's been a year since we gave you an update. Here's the update. It's coming. It's not coming till 2019. We didn't say 2018 last year. We said maybe 2018, maybe not. And now we're telling you for sure 2019. So I think this is actually pretty un-Apple-like in its communication way. And it's great for Pro users who have been waiting for this upgrade like you, Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, it is un-Apple-like in the sense that Apple used to just let us all spin our wheels with rumors, and wonder like, anytime Apple was, had an announcement, maybe it's going to be the new Mac Pro, for the company to say, no, it's going to be next year. I guess sort of squelches some of the sort of, frenetic press momentum that it has enjoyed all of this time. But Apple also is doing a lot of things differently. Rolling out product releases on different schedules. So it is in many ways a new company. And I, for one, welcome the increased communication. Even if I'm disappointed, I want to know.
No, I think that is to be applauded. The one thing that is different with this that Apple doesn't normally have to worry about is that normally they are selling retail effectively. They are selling to people. And of course, some people will just buy a Mac Pro because they want a Mac Pro. But this is Apple saying, look, editing houses, design firms, if you were planning on doing major upgrades this year, hold off for a year. That's when you'll get that new.
And Apple did this with education. We can argue about whether they did it effectively, but the big complaint with education was management of the devices. And a lot of people have been criticizing Apple because the iPad they announced is not that new. But really the message to educators was, we hired teachers and we talked to them about the problems, and the problems they told us was management. So we're rolling out a new management platform. So even if it doesn't look popular, it might work because they actually hired teachers, and here they are hiring creative professionals to work on films, to work on high-level music production. Maybe that pays off in the future. And they've also got an enterprise team. They've been working, they have partnerships with the likes of IBM to roll out Apple in the enterprise. I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing a similar effort there, which would explain why Apple has taken so darn long to roll out some of these products, because they're spending a lot of time collecting the experiences and trying to fix the actual problems. The tail is in the tape now for the next couple of years to see if all of that time and effort pays off with products that are significantly better than what you can get from HP and others.
More than 50 AI researchers from 30 countries signed a letter expressing concern about a partnership between the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, aka CAST, that's what we'll call it from now on, and weapons manufacturer Hanwha Systems. Shin Sung-shul, president of CAST, said that the project is focused on, quote, efficient logistical systems, unmanned navigation, and aviation training systems. The signatories of the letter said that they would discuss the response and the relationship between the institute and the manufacturer before lifting the boycott. Next week in Geneva, 123 member nations of the UN will discuss the challenges posed by the lethal autonomous weapons. In a related note, thousands of Google employees signed an open letter to CEO Sundar Pichai asking the company to stop working on Project Maven, which is an open source project from the Department of Defense to integrate AI into combat operations. Whew.
Yeah, so there's a wave forming here, a different one than Justin talks about on his other show, of backlash against the use of AI, and I think we're seeing two variations of it. One is employees protesting because the military is involved at all, right? And generally DARPA gets a pass, with DARPA Grand Challenge and stuff like that. But this is the Department of Defense, not DARPA. And I think in the minds of a lot of nerds and geeks, there's the distinction between the two. And even though Google insists All we're doing is image recognition tech that is open source for anybody. So we're just helping the Department of Defense like we would help any other client. We are not providing anything that we know is related to killing people. There's a stigma being attached to this now. And then I think on the more traditional side is the Korean Advanced Institute of Science, where you have researchers saying, hey, we are not cool with our research being used to support automated killing. And apparently in Korea, there's a Samsung robot patrolling the DMZ on the border between North and South Korea that is capable of autonomous weapon use, but is not activated for that.
Oh man.
Okay. My gun's not loaded.
No, the gun's loaded. It's not turned on to be autonomous. Like it's only controlled by humans, but it could be it could do it if somebody wanted to. It's just they're not.
Guns loaded, its brain's not loaded.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
So this is a trend to keep an eye on. The idea of weaponized AI.
And look, there is questions about AI in general, full stop, right? Like in the how we're planning or how we evolve them, when you fail safe them. Like it is a serious topic of conversation.
After Facebook started requiring approval of all apps that request access to information like check-ins, likes, photos, posts, videos, events, and groups, some popular apps started not working. So if you were doubting that Facebook really did it, try logging into Tinder yesterday. It'll prove that they actually changed some stuff. Tinder was giving some users a login loop that prevented them from accessing their dating profiles. Facebook told The Verge that indeed this was part of the changes that we announced today. We are working with Tinder to address the issue. The issue has now been resolved, but it sounds like Facebook just pulled the switch. They're like, we're not waiting. We're making you get approval to request that information. And if you didn't do it, your login ain't going to work. We don't care if you're Tinder.
Think of all the dates that were ruined and perhaps lifelong partnerships.
The sliding doors effect of this.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Is there a president that will now not take office because their parents did not hook up on Tinder?
Oh gosh, the implications are they really are resounding.
Yeah. How did you meet Grandma? Well, it would have been on April 4th if it weren't for Cambridge Analytica.
I met Grandma because a date that I was trying to cancel didn't go through.
See, that's the thing. That's the sliding doors aspect of this.
Yeah.
Like, this might have prevented a lot of really bad dates.
Yeah.
Now,
So there are presidents that might take office because they couldn't cancel the date.
That after all.
Measurable self-esteem boost to dating world as Tinder unavailable.
Yeah. I'm curious why Facebook and Tinder weren't able to work this out. It doesn't seem to have affected a lot of other apps.
Facebook doesn't care about anything other than getting the fire that has currently inflamed their posterior like Yosemite Sam out. They want it done. And right now they're getting roasted. If you read some of the interviews with Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg today, like they are just getting pelted with rocks, and that's before Zuckerberg has to go before Congress.
Why didn't it affect other apps then? Why did the other apps seem to?
The issue is, I think, less that they did it, but more like you said, they're not stopping for anybody. They'd rather your thing break, and you have to deal with it, and they can deal with it afterward. They know that for every minute that they don't take action, a hypothetical number that somebody in Congress is going to ask them about goes up like the national debt clock of how many profiles have been affected.
Sure. Yeah, I get that.
Well, and there were other apps affected. Tinder just happens to be an app that a lot, many millions of people use, and hooking into the Facebook API is a big part of it.
Yeah. But just imagine Zuckerberg running up and down K Street. My biscuits are burning. Earlier this year, the $20 million Lunar XPrize competition ended without a winner because Google opted not to extend its sponsorship of the competition beyond March 31st. That was the deadline. Now, XPrize has announced that the organization plans on continuing the competition just without a cash reward and hopes to find a new sponsor to cough up that green. Man, what a weird move by Google. Now that SpaceX is launching all these rockets and everything, they're like, oops, sorry, we're gonna pull that $20 million sponsorship.
Well, they didn't pull it. It expired, right? They said, we'll give you 20 million if you hit the deadline. Maybe they're just like, no, you didn't hit the deadline. That if we
Right. I
extend it,
mean,
then
that was the competition.
Deadlines don't mean anything if we keep sponsoring.
If we're just like, well, never mind. Keep trying.
Good move for them though. They got to be in there when it was bullish, and now that it's far more likely to happen, they're like, sorry, little buddy.
Well, it sounds like, some of the sort of front runners, right, in the competition were banking on, okay, well, if we get this done, we're going to get a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, the fact that they, nobody hit that deadline, it's like, well, okay, if you were sort of waiting for this money, hoping that you were the winner, and now the money isn't there anymore, what's your incentive to continue doing some of this research? So that's sort of the question, right? Is
getting to the moon, the bragging rights. Thank you. It's still worth doing.
Sure. I'd like to, star in the next Mission Impossible movie too, but I don't want to do it for free. My bragging rights.
I'm not sure those are directly equivalent, but I'm not sure how to.
That was the first thing I thought
argument.
of. I don't know why. It's also a Mission Impossible, get to space. But $20 million is that I would like to know who might be the next sponsor of something like this. A lot of companies could be in the running. Google was an obvious one.
Virgin Galactic just finally relaunched for the first time in 3 years after they had their fatality.
Sure.
Richard Branson, cough up some dough, get your name out there.
Yeah.
That's one thing he's in desperate need of, is getting his name out there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. He's the guy who runs Virgin Galactic, in case anyone.
Right. There is a labor shortage for warehouse, and 2 robotics companies want to help warehouses. Warehouse robotics maker 6 River Systems, we've talked about on the show in the past, said it deployed more than 100 robots across more than 10 customer warehouses by the end of last year, and expects to expand to have 600 robots in use at 30 sites this year. 6 Rivers founders, kind of interesting, are former executives at Kiva Systems, which Amazon bought in 2012, so now they're competitors. 6 Rivers' flagship robot is known as Chuck. I think is a he, designed to guide warehouse workers through their tasks rather than replace them altogether. Probably sounds good to a lot of workers in warehouses. Also, Fetch Robotics announced 2 new modules for their virtual conveyor robot. Roller Top lets the robot offload a package itself onto a conveyor belt. Cart Connect has a couple of metal spikes for picking up and transporting carts. So, in general, the warehouse robotics market is heating up.
Yeah, and what I think a lot of people don't realize, because all the robot talk is about them taking our jobs, right? Warehouses, especially automated warehouses, facing a labor shortage. They can't hire enough people. Now, you probably immediately have questions of like, wait, I hear there aren't enough jobs, and now you tell me that warehouses can't hire enough people. It's always weird things in the economy, little quirks like that happen. The idea here with both these robotics companies, though, is not to replace people, but to ease that shortage and say, hey, let's do things that help people get the job done without replacing them. So the humans are still doing a lot of the sorting, a lot of the packaging, and then the robots, in Fetch's case, they just take it from one place to another. And in 6 River Systems, they do a little more than that, to do a little more guiding, but they're making the human workers more efficient.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always those stories, right? Where it's like, oh, I think it was a 60 Minutes story maybe 2 years ago that was some almond farm or something where they had just they cannot hire enough people for $100,000 a year. If you just show up, you'll get a job. I don't know. When it comes to this though, is
that true? I mean, let's all go to the almond farm.
Well, it was in some screwball part of the country, which is just going to expose my city. Okay.
Greenville, Illinois. Thanks a lot, man.
I know, because as soon as I said that, I know it's going to be like, hey, that's my town's almond farm. You don't dare.
We don't have a lot of almond farms in Illinois, but I know what you're talking about.
You do in California, though. Quite a few.
I think I'm
almost positive it wasn't an almond farm. I think I was just trying to think of something silly.
I think I would love to hear from someone, and I don't know, maybe Big Jim, he works in the logistics industry, has some insight into this, but anybody who works in warehousing that knows why there is a shortage when there is generally a feeling that there aren't enough jobs, right? And is it because people are overqualified and they're like, yeah, I want a job, but not that job? Because sometimes that happens in an economy. And I think it's fascinating to look at these stories, not because I'm trying to dismiss the idea of jobs being replaced, but we, the knee-jerk reaction isn't always reflective of reality.
Well, and also the thing with these jobs, in all seriousness, are they're in a warehouse, you're location dependent. And many times companies that have enough money to have robots, going around their warehouse are building them in places that are fairly remote. And so, yeah, you have to decide, this is a lifestyle decision that I am moving out to work in this warehouse.
Verizon subsidiary Oath, to be technical, Oath is, of course, the combination of Yahoo and AOL. So it's not called AOL anymore. Anyway, Oath is selling Moviefone. Yes, that Moviefone. Tell me the name of the movie you would like to sell.
Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you'd like to see?
AOL and Yahoo are selling Moviefone.
Yes. AOL and Yahoo are selling Moviefone to Helios and Matheson Analytics. Now, you won't recognize them until I tell you who they are the majority owner of, MoviePass. MoviePass, of course, the hot new company that everyone thinks is going to fold because they're selling unlimited access to theater tickets that they have to pay full price for. Apparently, it's about $1 million in cash and 2.55 million common shares and stock warrants worth a total of $14 million. Moviefone was founded back in 1989. AOL acquired it for $388 million in 1999. And Helios and Matheson said the Moviefone acquisition is going to help them build a content marketing strategy and advertising revenue platform for MoviePass. Now, like I said, MoviePass sells a monthly subscription where you can attend movie screenings in not even in participating theaters, in approved theaters. The theater doesn't have to participate. Only MoviePass has to say, we put it on a map. So not every theater is in their system, but they decide, to AMC's chagrin, who they are going to put in the system. And then the way it works is they approve a credit card purchase that you then go up to the counter and buy. Now, they recently approved a partnership with Landmark Theaters, so you can do advanced purchases and not have to actually be at the theater. But the upshot of it is, for $6.95 a month right now, you can see as many movies as you want, and in lots of places. So this part of the strategy is to say, who one of our competitors would be is Fandango. And I don't get to do this as much as I used to anymore, but my wife works for Fandango, so let me disclose that. Fandango selling tickets and providing trailers and a content front end. MoviePass doesn't have that front end that Fandango has. With Moviefone, they do. So I think this is a very smart move for MoviePass to say, hey, we're going to be your destination for everything you need to know about movies.
Well, and dial it back just a little bit to the first thing you said. Moviefone is the service that everybody thinks is going to fold. So the idea that they are buying a can of Coke, let alone $1 million purchase for a brand that, although I think people would be hard pressed to know what Moviefone's relevance is in 2018, is a purchase of a legacy brand that people are aware of, is something that is very, very, very interesting. And I gotta say, man, MoviePass got me out of the house to go see Death of Stalin this weekend because I knew I could, and it was basically free, and all I had to do was get my butt up to the theater in North Oakland. So it's very, very interesting to see where their next play is. But obviously, I think this purchase to me says they need to evangelize. They need to go out and spread the word on this, and this content acquisition is about making people more aware of the peculiar bargain that is MoviePass.
To put it in 1999 terms, we can't tell right now if MoviePass is pets.com or amazon.com.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, no, totally. The way that it was described to me was, this is an amazing service. Get it now because you have no idea if it's going to be there tomorrow.
Hey, folks, if you want to get all the tech headlines each day in about 5 minutes, be sure to subscribe to Daily Tech Headlines. It's just a few minutes and you keep up on everything. That's why we do it. It's me and Sarah most of the time. Rich Stroffolino popping it every so often, Monday through Friday with all your tech headlines. So get it on your Amazon Echo as a flash briefing, the Google Home, Anchor app, or at dailytechheadlines.com. let's check in with the mailbag, Sarah.
Let's do it. We got a lot of feedback from our main topic yesterday that Tom and Roger and I kicked around with Scott Johnson, which was the YouTube shooting. Not a great topic, but a very important one. John says, with the events at YouTube and the reactions to the recent policy changes around gun videos on the platform, something occurred to me. When, if ever, does a platform become a public service? And if never, like I believe, what causes the user base to feel that it has? We sometimes forget that free speech tends to only apply to public property. It's interesting to see so many people feel personally slighted or attacked or censored because of decisions made by a public company with shareholders. I find it fascinating that in times past, threats or anger, not driven by perceived personal attacks, but more broader disagreements, news stations or anchors would be threatened. That's something that Tom mentioned yesterday in our discussion. This is not why people are so entitled as an email or a question. John says, well, I feel that YouTube is a public company, and as users, you can either go along with it or move along to something else. There is clearly a fair amount of users on the platform that have a strong relationship with it and feel otherwise.
Yeah, man. John hits on something I think which shows a self-awareness that a lot of people don't take the time to think about, which is I feel, and I'm actually like John, I feel like, YouTube's a company, and if they do something that angers me, like demonetizing my channel, I can get angry about it, but my actions are to just find another solution. Either put up with it because it's still the best one or find something else to do. Not everybody feels that way. And people, even if they shouldn't feel that a private company is theirs or is some kind of public platform, like what did he call it? A public service? Mm-hmm. People do. I mean, and it happens over and over and over in history. So this is a really fair question of when something gets big enough that people feel that it owes them something. An effective argument isn't to say, you're wrong, people. It doesn't owe you anything. But I don't know what the effective argument is.
So here's what's fascinating about this question is that really we're looking at the philosophical idea of a public utility as opposed to how we've regulated them in the past, which is usually defined by the scarcity of a gigantic build or the ability for a government, be it federal, state, or local, to regulate it. So that's why, telephones or cable or electricity, these all require big build outs that you don't want too many of. And so your state, city, or federal government will regulate it. Here, when the internet is ubiquitous and everybody can get it, and you're building a service on top of something else that's already regulated, then where is the philosophical idea of I can't get around this? And that's very, 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 very interesting, because as of now, it's not like your city or state or federal government can say, no, these bits are an eyesore or these bits are going to cost the city too much to clean up if a hurricane knocks them down.
Yeah. I have more to say on this, but this is a topic that's going to recur. I feel like we'll keep this conversation going over on the subreddit. Perhaps submit stories and vote on them at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com, and of course facebook.com/groups/dailytechnewsshow.
Thank you to Justin Robert Young, as always, for joining us. It's Thursday and it's Justin Day. Justin, what's been going on since last Thursday when we saw you last?
Man, well, I did another episode of Politics, and everybody can go ahead and check that out at politics.com. It's I don't even want to say the name of the show because it was kind of ribald, but you can go ahead if you like an irreverent take on politics. And a little bit of me singing, then go ahead and check out the Politics show. And Sarah, I'm just going to let you know.
Yeah.
Breaking loose. You said Thursday is Justin Day. Well, guess what?
What?
Back on Monday. How about that?
Hey, all right.
And we posted this on Patreon. I've repeated it a few other places, but we'll put it right here at the end of the show. If you've been missing Veronica Belmont on Mondays, she sadly just couldn't resolve the conflict between the day job and being on the show live. She's going to continue to work on the show when we can have her on, and doing some bot stuff for the labs, the first one which came out last month. So we're looking forward to the next one as well. So it's not that we don't want her here, and it's not that she doesn't want to be here. It's just a scheduling conflict for now. But it does mean we get more Justin and more Lamar on Mondays as well. So, every cloud has a silver lining. Thanks to everybody for supporting us on Patreon. We are at 10 fewer patrons than last month right now. This always happens at the beginning of the month. And when you go into the dashboard and you look at the people who said why they left, it's almost entirely financial reasons. So if you are doing okay, if a robot has not taken your job and you've got $1 a month, you can help somebody out. We would love to have your support. You can become a boss of ours. There's all kinds of cool perks you can take advantage of at patreon.com/DTNS.
Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. We are live Monday through Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 2030 UTC. Please join us live if you can. It's great to have you. Find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live.
Back tomorrow with Shelley Brisbane talking about trends in accessibility tech. And of course, Len Peralta will be back as well. See you then.
Woohoo.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
I mean, literally, you're on the show every day, Justin.
I sure have, Diamond.
I am.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
I'm growling. Brian's giggling.
That sounds like a country song.
My mom growling. Brian's giggling. Everyone.
Good show.
Good show, everybody.
Yay.
Yay.
Hey,
Good show. Roger, you're so crunchy still.
I'm still crunchy.
Yeah, you got a little crunchy crunch.
Yeah, like a granola.
Which normally I like. I mean, smooth peanut butter people, way inferior to crunchy peanut butter people.
Oh,
Preach it,
that's
sister.
fact. You gotta get because listen, if you got the jelly on it too, jelly's smooth. You need a little lightning to the thunder.
Yeah, right?
I feel very strongly about this.
Yeah,
It's an evolutionary, it separates the top from the mid. Like, why would you like smooth peanut butter?
I know I've talked about it on our post show before, but Sarah, I'm not sure if I've talked about it while you were here, about how my mother suppressed crunchy peanut butter from
What
my
does it
life.
mean suppressed it from your knowledge or from the household?
I wanted crunchy peanut butter, and she would never buy it. She always bought smooth.
but wait, hold
Because
on. Did she like gaslight you and say that it didn't exist?
No, she didn't go
Right.
that far. Wasn't that far.
You're crazy. You're
She's like,
crazy.
there's no such
You're
thing.
crazy little
no, we'd
Tommy.
be in, the IGA, and I would be like, "Ooh, get the crunchy," and my mom would be like, "No, nobody likes the crunchy." I'm like, "I like the crunchy." Like your sister.
But
doesn't. Then I asked, there was a little gaslighting because I'd ask my sister, like, "Do you not like crunchy?" She's like, "Crunchy's fine." Why did mom say that? I don't mind crunchy.
I mean, listen, peanut butter is delicious either way. But if
Sure.
you're eating a peanut butter sandwich and there's no crunch,
You're
I
missing
feel as though I've been cheated.
Mm-hmm.
All right, peanut
Have
butter,
some fun.
rank some peanut butter sandwich like allies. Like, are we doing like jelly? Obviously, number one, top of the list.
Oh, right. So
Also,
partner.
first of all, I'm just going to go ahead and because I have a lot of thoughts about this.
Okay.
Jelly is also inferior to jam.
All right.
Well,
So
it depends.
jam above jelly, crunchy above
Break that.
smooth.
I don't know. I mean, aside from the dirty joke, I don't know the difference between jelly and
A
jam.
jam still has pieces of the fruit in it.
And it's
Jam up
also
in
just
jelly
not like gelatinous the way jelly is.
Jelly is just like gelatin with like when you pureed.
Jam is, I don't know, my mother,
And
my
then-
mom's
and
watching
then
the
you
show. I
have
know. Mom used to
marmalade,
make
and
her
then
own
you have
jam. It was really
preserve,
good.
which are the preserves of the whole fruit. And then you work your way down. Jelly
Well,
is
preserves are different than jam, though, which is different.
that's
than
true,
jelly.
but they are often also served alongside at breakfast.
Do we have a title?
Yes. I don't like war. AI don't like war. Or an oath to sell Moviefone.
I need a tiebreaker because I kind of like both those. Sarah, Justin,
I liked Oath just on movie.
Just Oath is
Okay.
the funniest name.
Got it.
It's always funny.
That
All right.
also that they
Settled.
took two such recognizable names and then made it Oath. It just sounds like either a Bible camp or like really sturdy boots.
It's a good name for either one of those, right? Oath
Yeah.
Bible Camp. Like, oh yeah, okay, that sounds great. Or my oath boots, they never let me down. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, when you're out on the prairie, make sure you've taken the oath. Boots.
It actually sounds halfway between life insurance and like a high fiber product.
Oh no.
It sounds like a blockchain, I don't know.
Have you taken the oath? Life insurance policy?
Hey, how do I access my wallet?
And Yahoo doesn't
sign
even
into your
support OAuth anymore.
No, that would be Oath. The life insurance one would be one of like super late night 24-hour news channel, like two old women like, I don't want to leave a real mess behind when I go. That's why I took the oath.
Well, you know why? Because it reminds me of Colonial. What was it? Colonial Penn. The other.
Oh, that's it. Those are the ones that I was thinking. It was just like the two old like they're just like calmly just sitting down, like having a scone, discussing their death. Like it's just so weird.
Like, I don't like discussing it, but when the time comes, someone's going to have to pay for my funeral, the services, and then making sure my estate, quote unquote, all the crap I have in my house is taken care of.
Well, Roger, you should take the oath.
All right,
I should
jelly.
take the oath insurance policy.
Jelly is a clear fruit spread made from cooked fruit juice and sugar.
Yeah.
Jam is a thick spread made from fruit juice, chopped and crushed and pureed fruit and sugar.
Yeah. Fruit, there's
and
fruit in it.
Preserves are another thick fruit spread made from fruit cooked with sugar. But in this case, large pieces of fruit or whole fruit are suspended.
Mm.
And then I think marmalade is a subset of that.
What were they
right?
suspended for?
Marmalade.
Turn. Wearing that hat after we warned you not to.
I'm just saying,
They were
grape
suspended for
grape
juicing.
jelly. I will use grape jelly in a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in a pinch. But actually, what I want is blackberry jam and crunchy peanut butter.
Oh yeah.
All right, but what about
Sandwiches in your
bananas?
house. That's-
What about bananas? Where you got a banana and peanut butter?
I've never
sure.
tried that.
I'm down with that.
No.
So good.
Oh yeah. No, that's good.
Real good. Real good.
Yeah, real good.
All right, what about if you're mixing kind of sweet and savory into a slice of bacon? You gonna throw some bacon on that with the
No.
Done it.
Nope.
Enjoyed
Nope.
it.
Nope.
Absolutely.
I would never do that. I would rather die.
Not
Like half.
not-
That's half of Chinese cooking, sweet and savory.
What about a nice little slice of deli meat? A little prosciutto? A little
With peanut butter?
Depends on the peanut butter. Has to be a kind of an organic, less sweet peanut butter. For
I
that.
would prefer peanut butter,
Incorrect.
non-chunky, with a big slice of grilled chicken breast.
chicken and peanut butter. What?
What, you've never had like a chicken satay from a Thai restaurant and the peanut
Sure.
sauce? It's
Yeah,
the
it's
same
like
thing.
a Thai thing.
I
That
have.
would-
Although
but not with bread.
there's a reason why I don't. Ashley, all she ever wants to do is get Thai. Whenever we're talking about takeout, the joke is that she's going to work the conversation back to Thai food because it's the easiest one to do vegan.
Mhm.
But I never know what to order, and I usually wind up getting that chicken satay. And I'm going to be honest with you, Roger, I've yet to have one that knocked my socks clean off.
Your
You
socks
might
are
have the
always
wrong taste
firmly on.
buds. You might have just been
when-
born with a genetic deficiency for awesomeness.
When you guys were kids, might just be just me.
Yeah.
Not sure. I never had peanut butter and jam sandwiches until I got a little bit older, but I had peanut butter and honey sandwiches.
Oh,
okay.
wow. No, that's decadent. I don't know if no one's ever been like, this needs to be sweeter. And maybe because even as a 35-year-old man, I'm an insufferable motor mouth. And you can imagine when I was a kid that the idea keeping sugar away from me was a high priority.
Oh, I'm telling you, peanut butter and honey, that is a good combo.
No, I probably would have done. It would have just been like the test.
Also, in that vein, if you got a pancake and you're like, I'm out of syrup, what do I do? A little peanut butter and honey on that pancake.
Man, you want to know what I would? Speaking of sugar, my move. I kind of I never like syrup. It's butter and sugar for me on a pancake, 100%.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I would do that.
I ever since they started doing that fruit compote at like IHOP decades ago, if I don't have syrup, I just put like a big helping of fruit on top of it.
Now what I want to do is have a big old breakfast. Like this is a lot of.
Let's all go to IHOP.
Let's go to IHOP.
Doesn't that sound good? And just
don't know when the last time I've been
have
to
like a
IHOP was.
pancake belly and take like naps in like 1 hour.
There's so many better places for pancakes, though.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
That's
Bill's. Go to Bill's down in Manhattan Beach.
what's the place in LA? The famous pancake place with the gigantic pancakes.
Oh, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Oh, that's the
That's the chicken and waffles.
I don't like waffles. I only like pancakes.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, I love waffles. I love the
waffles
crunchy.
have ridges that don't need to be there. I want a nice
No,
smooth.
they're there
to
to
the
hold the syrup.
No, there's a waffle place in Alameda that changed my mind about waffles because they didn't make it. It's the big Belgian waffles that I don't like so much because of the ridges. You get a nice, thin, savory waffle with some syrup on it.
A
It's really
savory waffle.
Almost. It's sweet and savory, both.
Is it the griddle?
No.
Might be the griddle.
Must be the
Bacon,
griddle.
probably bacon on the griddle that just kind of works its way into the waffle mix.
Wait a minute. Have y'all never been to the griddle?
Where's it at?
I have been to the griddle. It's
Griddle.
great.
Yeah, griddle is.
There's one. The last. Oh no, I'm thinking of the Iron Griddle. I don't know if they're related at all. There's an Iron Griddle in Los Gatos that has this cinnamon roll that would
No, this is in
kill
LA.
you from happiness.
This is in LA. Okay, so
Okay.
It's the name of a restaurant in LA. Okay.
in West Hollywood,
I don't think I've been there though.
Mm-mm.
a friend of mine took me there a while ago. Gigantic pancakes, but but they're very good. They're not just like novelty gigantic, like laughs. Don't be fooled when you go there. They're gonna be like, "Oh, do you want like the short stack or the tall stack?" This is a scam. Like you literally just get the smallest stack they have because every one of their pancakes are about the size of a manhole cover. They're delicious, but if you're like, "Oh no, I need the tall stack because I'm a real man," foolish. You're gonna wind up throwing away half that stack.
A good pancake waffle or whatever pancake place needs to offer cornmeal pancakes. Like
Ooh,
really
I love cornmeal. Love cornmeal. Or oats.
You don't
Oat
have to.
pancakes.
And a cornmeal pancake is okay. I'm not a big fan, to be honest, but
Well,
that's why I feel this way. But
another man whose taste buds probably deviate.
Well, Justin, you're still in the Bay Area. There's a place in San Francisco called Kate's Kitchen. It's in the Haight, in the upper Haight. Well, it's in the lower Haight. And they have some amazing cornmeal pancakes. Just the best it is. Yeah.
all right. So
Worth the trip.
Justin, have you been to Oli's in Alameda?
I've not. No.
All right. So in exchange for the griddle,
Yeah.
I will recommend Oli's Waffle Shop. It's right on the main drag there on Park Street in Alameda. Been there forever. Greatest waffles I've ever had.
Ooh,
Wow,
this
there's
might
no
be
such
called the
thing as
South
good waffle
Shore
left.
Cafe now.
What, the griddle?
No, Oli's.
Oh, what?
Look up Oli's. There's a Miss Oli's, but it's Jamaican food.
Oli's Waffle Shop, 1507 Park Street.
1507 Park. Let me look this up. I'm trying to look on Yelp. Yelp.
OLE''S. That might be I didn't spell it.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, one place in San Francisco that used to have great breakfast was Just For You. The one right across the street from Revision 3.
Oh, yeah. Is it still there?
Yeah.
I used to love Just For You.
But that Salvadorian / Mexican place, you know, with the burritos and stuff, that place closed.
Oh, it did?
By the way, on Yelp, ask the community for Oli's. Does Oli's serve real maple syrup? I'll bring my own if they have that goopy sludge called pancake syrup. I haven't been to Oli's in years, so I can't remember it. Answer 7 months ago. Yo, they got the real thing, homie.
That grade B.
Nice. And then there's Dupar's in the farmers market in LA, where we had our December DTNS meeting, and we all had the pancakes there, and none of us ordered them. And they're really good.
We all did not have the pancakes there.
No, we all said we had them before,
I had never been there before.
Oh, you hadn't? Okay, I thought we all three had said
Well,
that. So
I think what happened was the two of you were like, pancakes are really good, and I was like, that's what I want too, for sure. And then all three of us at the moment
last
where,
minute.
they're like, what would you like? I was like, can I have a vegan omelet, please, with extra avocado? I was like, I don't know. I wanted pancakes. I don't know what happened.
What do they make from the? How do you make a vegan omelet? I mean, what do they use?
I'm kidding. I basically in the moment I panicked and did not order the pancakes that I thought I wanted the entire time.
No,
if you find yourself in Bayview, go to Auntie April's. They do good fried chicken pancakes, waffles.
See, now I'm gonna unpopular opinion when it comes to like chicken and waffles, chicken and pancakes. Just I'm a never the twain shall meet kind of man. I love both. I'll eat both, but I don't need them together. So like I'll order it and then I'll immediately separate it.
well, so what's the place on Grand? It's been there for years now.
In
downtown Oakland.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Wait, on Grand or in Jack London?
On Grand. On Grand and right across from that condo place. It's not Jack London. It's on the.
No.
I've been to it like a bunch of
chicken
times.
and waffles place in Jack London.
No, it's not a chicken and waffles place. It's just a bar.
A diner.
And does brunch on the weekends.
Bar that does brunch. Is it Luca's?
Yes, Lucas.
Yes,
Lucas serves chicken and waffles exactly like you like them.
Yes.
Or at least they used to, because they separate them.
They separate them. No, yeah, I'm down with that. I love Luca's also great catfish. I got a catfish that I like over there.
I miss good fried catfish.
I realize sometimes our post show is like an Instagram photo of a food. I get it.
It's because we're hungry, but then
It's so alienating if you don't live in either Los Angeles or the Bay Area. Like it's just
okay. So send us your local favorite pancake omelet and or chicken.
It was always my great frustration before I moved out here that all my favorite shows would just constantly talk about all the cool things that happened in the area and sometimes LA. And it took me probably about 5 minutes before I immediately turned all of my podcasts into exactly the thing.
Do exactly that. Yeah. Well, all right.
Well, that's how you get
There's cool stuff out here. Oh, by the way, crap, I should have plugged it on the show. Although I don't know if people will get it. But if you're in the Bay Area, come on out to Piano Fight tonight.
Oh.
Because I'm going to be a guest or competitor on Rebecca Watson's Quizatron Science Quiz panel, where I'll be matching wits with a recently added Adam Savage of Mythbusters fame.
Ooh.
Wow. That's not daunting.
I'm gonna mop the floor with him.
Good luck.
Oh, Adam Savage. He's a great guy.
Really thought you were going to say Adam Sandler for a second there, but
oh man, no, I'd be nervous with Adam Sandler. Adam Savage. I'm excited. I mean, he's I don't know if I've ever met him, but he's like friends of friends.
Yeah.
He used to frequent that Tad Gear down on the corner of the Revision 3 building. Like he used to be there, and I guess David Prager ran into him one time. Invited him in on.
Wait, he's the what? You said half that sentence off mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said that he used to frequent that Tad Gear clothing store on the side of the building that Revision 3 is in.
Oh.
And then David Prager ran into him, and I think that's how he invited him onto the show, one of our shows. I know they made it to Texella for one episode. That was a real weird thing.
What?
Not the thing that we did, just getting him on. It was odd. I was solicited by their manager, Adam and Jamie.
Yeah.
Show.
That's always yeah, people are weird with that.
It was weird because I got in trouble with Discovery, the parent company.
Yeah.
Just odd. It still has me scratching my head. But he should be good. Should be fun. You should ask him about pancakes versus waffles. And I only like pancakes if the regular pancakes, the ones where they cook it so the edges are a little crispy.
Yeah. I don't know.
No crispy pancakes. I want them fluffy and doughy.
No, they would be crispy on the outside, but the inside's still fluffy.
No, I don't want crispy at all. I want it all soft and doughy.
Because at that point, you're halfway to crepe.
I know.
No, grapes totally different.
Let's take this to audio for the Patreon.
right.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.